Welcome back to the newsroom. These are the stories we're tracking at the moment. The House of Representatives has on Thursday begun a probe into the alleged bribery of officials of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, as well as officials of the Nigerian Correctional Service, by controversial cross-dresser Idris Okuneye, also known as Bobrisky, who was convicted and sentenced to prison for naira abuse. This was as the Civil Defense Correctional Fire and Immigration Services Board on Thursday announced the suspension of two deputy controllers in charge of the Kirikiri Medium Custodial Center in Lagos of Bobrisky's bribery allegations. And the media office of former Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello has called on President Bola Tinubu to intervene in the confrontational between the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) and the former governor. In a statement signed by Ohalere Michael, the media office condemned the EFCC's conduct, labeling its recent releases and actions as biased. The office called on President Tinubu to intervene in the matter, urging him to ensure that the fight against corruption remains impartial. And the Benue State government has commenced training on the prevention of gender-based violence for critical stakeholders, including security agents, to stem the high number of cases being recorded in the state. The training on gender-based violence, sexual exploitation and abuse, and trafficking in persons was organized by the Law Enforcement Office. The training was hosted by the Benue State government through the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management in partnership with the State Bureau of Homeland Security. And the People's Democratic Party in Akwa Ibom State has put its political campaign for local elections in the state on hold following the death of the Akwa Ibom First Lady, Patience Eno. Local elections in Akwa Ibom are scheduled for 26 October, and political parties have been campaigning for votes. She died on Thursday in a hospital following an undisclosed illness, according to a statement issued on Friday morning by the Commissioner for Information and Strategy in Akwa Ibom, Ini Emembong. And on business, oil companies' indebtedness to the federal government in terms of royalties and taxes has risen to $6.1 billion, according to an audit of the petroleum industry by Nigerian Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative (NEITI). The oil and gas industry report presented on Friday in Abuja reviewed a breakdown of $6.071 billion and $66.4 billion naira in unpaid royalties and gas flare penalties owed to the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission (NUPRC) as of August 31, 2024. And on the foreign scene, Russia's nuclear saber rattling throughout the Ukraine conflict has been seen as empty threats, but Russian President Vladimir Putin has now backed the threat with a revision of the country's nuclear doctrine. He has announced plans to broaden Russia's rules on the use of its nuclear weaponry just when the West is considering allowing Ukraine to strike deep within Russia with long-range Western missiles. Putin has recently warned that long-range missile strikes into Russia by Ukraine would mean NATO is at war with Russia. And finally on sport, Alisson Becker is ready to return from injury for Liverpool's trip to Premier League strugglers Wolves, manager Arne Slot has said on Friday. The first-choice goalkeeper has missed the past two games, with Carmen Keller deputizing it, but Slot said the Brazilian was in line to play on Saturday. Liverpool are second in the Premier League, just 1 point behind champions Manchester City, with 4 wins from their first 5 matches. And these are the major stories from our newsroom at this moment. We'll update you at 6 with more stories. I'm Joy Ochejem. See you next time.